Next thing we're going to do is install the red wire. We're going to use that to run 5 volts to these devices. Okay? The limit switches all need 5 volts on one of their sides, and the separate drivers need 5 volts each. Actually, each little pin here, everywhere where it says plus, so pulse plus, direction plus, and enable plus, all need 5 volts going into each one of those. So what we're going to do here, because these screw terminals have a hard time fitting even 2, and we're going to have 3 of them, I'm going to run a little wire up to about here, and this is where it's going to split off. It's going to have one wire going down through the Y chain into the X end stop, so it runs into it about right here, right? Into this guy. I'm going to have an end stop over here, so when it goes all the way back here, it runs into that end stop, and then it's going to come over here, so it's going to split 3 ways. Okay, so that's a pretty fast and easy one. I'm going to give it just a little bit of wire showing, right? Twist the sleeve off. 5 volts is up top here. And make sure I got that right. Yep. That's the 5 volts. Cool. Open that up. Come around. I'm going to put this in. Cool. And screw it down. Okay, do a little, oh, good thing I did a tug test. That's alright. Do this again. Open it up. Push it in even further this time. And then tighten it down even harder. There we go, give it a tug. There we go, now it's in. Okay, so it's going to run up to this piece of framing and to about right here. And then we're going to split it. Okay, so I got that. I'll expose all this wire here, twist this off, and fold it in half. And then let it dangle for a second. So, now we need one to come through the Y chain into the end stop, which will be about this long here. Okay, twist that piece off. We'll have one that's going from this point right here all the way down to where the end stop's going to be, and then comes down, and then comes over, and then give it an extra. Alright, chop that off. Expose about 3/8 of an inch. There we go. And then one that's going to the stepper drivers. So we're coming here. Oh, gotta go underneath. Coming here to the steppers. Coming around and coming to this point. Okay, that's about right. And we're going to shorten this again, but we're going to use so many little short ones that it really doesn't matter. We'll use all the excess up on this. Okay, so I take these 3 cables here, stack them on each other, and then you don't match the ends of the wires. You make sure you match the sleeve length. So if one of your wires is longer, like just have it stick up a little more, right? Just make sure your sleeves are the same length. Okay, and then we're gonna get them stacked on each other about, and then twist them up. Cool. Okay, and then we went over how to do the crimps in earlier videos. So hopefully you paid attention there. Do that. And bring this guy in. There we go. Do a little tug test here. Cool. Okay. So what we're going to focus on here is the stepper drivers. Now I got to figure out which one's which. Okay, the longest one goes to the X, the next longest one goes to the Y, the shortest one goes over to the stepper drivers. Cool. Okay, so I'll give it, oh yeah, that's right, I'll pretend that it's being installed here. Going along the frame, right, coming up here and coming around. So that's about the right length actually. Okay, and I suppose about 3/8 of an inch there, about 10 millimeters. And then we're going to need 1, 2, and then a long one, and then 1, 2 jumpers. So I'm going to make 2 short little jumpers here. And then we'll figure out the long one in a second. I guess I'll make 4 little jumpers so that no one will need them. And then a jumper from the plus here, enable plus, to pulse plus. That's about right. Cool. And now I gotta twist all these together, so I'm gonna expose all these wires. Okay. The reason we have to give each of these 5 volts is because each signal is octo-isolated. So that means each isolator needs both a signal and either ground or 5 volts into it. And that's to make sure any of the voltage and any of the feedback coming from the stepper motor doesn't flow back into the Arduino and hurt it. So as I move the gantry or the head back and forth, it actually generates a little bit of electricity. And that can feed back. It'll feed back into the power supply, but the power supply can take it. The Arduino might not. So there are isolated inputs for these. But on isolated inputs, you need to give either power or ground to each one and signal to each one. Okay, so let's see, that's this one here. So we're going short, short, right? Twisting those together. That's about right. And then short. Just a jumper right across there. And then we're jumping from one separate driver to another with a long one. Okay. And then the other 2 short ones. Alright, so we got this so far. So I'm going to bring it under where the path is actually going to be for this. And yeah, first one into pulse plus. Right? I'll actually get this out of the way for a second so I can see what I'm doing. So open up pulse plus. Put the first one in there. All the way in, right? Sleeves all the way pushed in. Tug on it. Good. Next one's direction plus. Tug, we're good. Next one's enable plus. Ooh, that's fraying a little. I'm gonna straighten that out. And there we go. Okay, and then we're jumping all the way over here to pulse plus again. Direction plus. And enable plus. Oh, that's the last one. I want to fold it in half so it's got a little more to grab on. There we go. And I'm going to make sure I plug my power back in. Okay, so there's that. And then the other 2 pluses we'll just let dangle for now until we start wiring them up. And that's red wire. Thanks for watching.